Welcome back to another episode of the Obsessed or Not Interested podcast. I'm your host, Mindy Wenderquario, and today we are talking about my family motto. And my kids literally finished the sentence because they're annoyed by it, by the way. But this is the mindset that I want my kids to have so instilled in them, and that it's just a way of life for them. That motto is, how you do anything is how you do everything. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today. So how you do anything and how you do everything is like something that can be applied to all areas. I think a lot of people think, oh, that's in business or whatever. No, this is like literally when I go to the bathroom, you guys, I get out of the bathroom, I wash my hands like in a public restroom. And when I grab the paper towel, after I'm done, I want to wipe up the sink. Like, do you know what I mean? How it's like so messy in a public restroom. And I'm not saying I do this every time, but like, if I'm like, okay, remind yourself, how I do anything is how I do everything. I want to just go above and beyond in every area of my life, do in the big stuff and the small stuff. So I'll take the paper towel and I'll wipe up the counter. If there's somebody left their paper towel on the counter, I grab it and I throw it in the trash. Not only does that remind me that I'm how I do anything is how I do everything, the big or the small stuff, but also the people around you are paying attention to that. And so somebody might take notice of that and be like, hey, I want to start doing that. But most importantly, you guys, your children, leading by example with this motto for your children. I call them teachable moments. So I literally, this is what my kids say. I'm like, you guys remember how you do anything. And they're like, yeah. I get it. How you do everything is how you do everything. Like they finish my sentence annoyed, but that's me saying it. Yeah, they can finish my sentence. Yeah, I say it a lot. Yeah, it's annoying, whatever. It's a joke. But when they actually see me do it in action, that holds more weight and has more power than me just saying it all the time. So doing this every single day, not only is it helping yourself, but you're helping those around you, especially your children. So how we show up. So when you show up, giving it your all and not being something like, this doesn't matter. This is good enough. Don't be, this is good enough, girl. Don't be, this is good enough, dude. You want to be somebody who people look at you and they see trust, that they can trust you, that you are dedicated, that you go above and beyond, and that you are reliable. Wouldn't you rather have that be like what people think of you and that's your vibe? That's your reputation, is that people can trust you. You're reliable. You're dedicated. That's for me. That's for sure me. So if you are, maybe it's just, let's just say kids sporting event. Okay. And let's just say it's your kid. Okay. And you show up early and you go to every single game. Obviously, if you have work that comes in the way or something, but you are reliable. They can trust that you care. That even if I have had Lane say to me, oh, mom, don't worry about it. I know you're busy with the littles and whatever. No, that's okay. That you can watch it on Game Changers. Okay. Or I have to go to, sometimes there's another child that I have to get to certain things. I mean, we have 5 kids and sometimes you have to divide and conquer. That's okay. But when you can be there, let's just say in a perfect world where you can be there and you show up early or on time, you're at every single game. You are telling him after his game, oh, like you're really present and knew the plays and you did good when you did this. Your kid, when your child grows up, they're going to see you as somebody who is very trustworthy, very reliable, a dedicated mother, and somebody who really cared. You're going to how you make them feel is that they're special. You cared about them. You wanted to be there. That's what you're showing them. Now that is the same thing. That same thing is true in whatever. I mean, just think again at sports. The parents that sees you, if you're always rolling in late and coming to half the games and you don't know what you're like, that's somebody who's not trustworthy, who's not reliable, and not dedicated. Again, I'm not saying that there isn't sometimes where, like, again, sometimes Joey's going to Mason's game and I'm going to Lane's game and we get somebody. Otherwise, I have to bring Lily to horse riding lessons. If Lane has a game, like we just have to, we have to divide and conquer. That's not what I'm talking about. Same thing is true for other areas of your life. So I want you guys to ask yourself this because I'm going to help you reframe the way you think about this. So then you can leave this episode today and you're going to start having that same mindset. And you're going to go this week, especially, I'm going to challenge you guys to really look at every single day, starting out your day with this motto or this mantra: how I do anything is how I do everything. And start to see that in the little tiny areas of your life as well as the big areas. But ask yourself these questions so we can try to reframe this. And I'm going to teach you how, because there's probably some areas in your life that you're like, oh yeah, like, of course. Like for me, I'm like obsessed with my career. I love to work. That's just like my thing. I love to work. I get hyper focused. I love being creative. I love mentoring women. So I'm all in. So of course I go all in, and that I do my best. But if you want me to clean, like I'm not excited about cleaning. So that's some area where I would have to I have to reframe. And I'm going to get into some more examples. Let's start here. Let me backtrack and give you these questions. What is something that you're good at? I just told you what I was good at, right? Well, that was my thing. What is your thing? What is something that everyone just knows that you're really good at? It might be cleaning for you. It might be organizing for you. Whatever that thing is, what is the thing that is something that you're good at? You don't have to be the best. Just have to be good. What is something that you're good at? Why are you good at that? Ask yourself that question. Once you figure out what you're good at, why are you good at that? And after you figure out why you're good at that, and you guys can do this when you're not driving or whatever, how do you treat that thing that you're good at? So why are you good at it? And how do you treat it? You treat it with the thing that you're really good at. Like for me, my career and my work, I'm very intentional. I am very intentional with how I think about. I'm always thinking about it. Again, I have ADHD, so I get hyper focused, but you guys get that when you're passionate about something, you get really hyper focused and you're very intentional about it. So I'm intentional about when I'm mentoring women, or somebody's taking my foundation course or whatever. I'm intentional with them. I want to know what makes them tick. I want to know their pain points. I want to know how I can serve them. I want to know their goals. Obviously, you guys know I'm obsessed with goals. I'm like the goal getter girl. Well, I want to know what makes them tick and what their goals are so I can help them do that. Because guess what? Once I learned about goal setting and once I started to become successful, I'm like, dude, I need to tell everybody about this. And this is why this podcast is the thing. This is why before this podcast, I was doing same thing, only I was gatekeeping the information in my community. And now I've just expanded that. So I loved every single week. And sometimes it was like I had weekly calls like this. Now this is a podcast, but I used to get on these calls and I'd be like, sometimes I'd do extra ones. There was only supposed to be one a week. And sometimes I would do extra ones because I had so much to say. Because when I'd come up with an idea or I found something that worked, or I found a little tweak that I did that I knew would help some people, I wanted to get on and tell everybody about it because I was intentional. The other part of that is your attention. So you're very intentional with the things that you're passionate about and that you're good at, but also you give a lot of your attention to those areas because you're passionate and you're good at it probably, and it's fun. And yeah, so you give a lot of your attention to it. Okay. So now let's think about the mindset behind all that. So you figured out what you're good at, why you're good at it, and how you treat it with intention and attention. So, with that said, let's think about something. Now, let's reframe this a little bit, and then I'm going to give you some examples. But let's reframe that a little bit. And so let's just say there's something that you're not so good at and that you kind of don't give it your all. I don't want to swear. But you just don't give it your all. You're kind of like, good enough. Think of those areas now. So something that you're not very good at and that you don't give your all. And now let's reframe that and start to think why you're not good at it. Because you're not intentional and you don't give it much attention because you don't care, especially for those women and those dudes who have ADHD like me. Like if it's not fun, if it's not interesting, it's really hard to hold our attention. But when when you start being intentional about these things and you have awareness and you change some verbiage, which I'm going to share with you in a second, what happens is that you start to have this mindset. How I do anything is how I do everything. And how I do anything is how people are going, how I'm showing up, how I do anything and how I'm showing up for even the smallest of things is how people are seeing me. That is my reputation. That is who I am. That is how people see me. That is who I am. That is, I don't want to show up being the person that's leaving my trash on the counter in a bathroom. That's not me. Have I done that? Maybe. Like I'm not telling you I haven't, but that's not who I want to be. Is that do you want to be somebody who is kind of like, ugh, good enough? No, you don't want to be that girl. You don't want to be that dude. So what we can do is we start to look at things in that way and we start to change the mindset behind it. We start to reframe how we think of these things and we start to develop this mantra, this mindset that, hey, I really want to be good at this. Say it's your business, or I really want to reach my fitness goals and all this stuff. So if I want to do that, I can't half ass. Okay, I swore. I should really beat that out. I can't help it because that's just the term I use when I talk about this stuff. And I've been saying, trying to like just put it out there. But so let's just think about your workout. So if you're showing up for your workout and I work out at home, as most of you know, I'm like, I would working out at a gym would be like my worst thing ever. So I work out at home and you're working out at home though. So there's nobody around that's going to see if you go lighter on your weights or you skip the portion that is really hard or that if you finish early and you skip your stretching. No one's going to see that, but you see it. You know. And how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you have goals to hit a goal weight or to, gain muscle or whatever your goals are when it comes to your fitness and health and overall wellness, we're not going to skip these workouts. If it's on your schedule, you're going to do it. And if you're going to do it, you're going to do it well. That's you now, my friend. So I want you to think about that. If you say to yourself, I'm waking up early to work out tomorrow, you, my friend, are going to wake up early and work out tomorrow because you now are a doer and you now have reframed your mindset behind this stuff and you get to work out. So that leads me to the next thing. Here's the secret. First of all, we already know if you're good at something, you can be good at all the things. You can give your all to all the things. But sometimes it matters how we're viewing this and our verbiage behind it. When we start to talk about things like, I have to post on social media because I know it's something that all of us have to do because it's the way that we can find people and it's the way that we can grow our brand. And I have to make a reel and I hate doing this. You're not going to do a good job. Just telling you right now. It's not going to happen for you. Just saying. So this is a training that I just did with the women that I'm mentoring right now. And I had to go off on this topic because so many people are like, well, I hate making reels though. Is there any other way? Blah, blah, blah. I'm not good at it. Like just complaining that they have to make a reel, or we have a 30-day reel challenge right now. And they were saying, well, I didn't get to it because of this and excuses, because this is why. Their mindset and their verbiage is, I have to create content. When you start to view your content and the creation of your content in such a way that you're thinking, every piece of content that I create is an opportunity to be introduced to new people, my person, and my person is who I'm trying to serve with whatever I have to offer. So if that's true, I should get excited every single day to not only create, but then I get to write copy or a caption, whatever you want to call it. I get to write copy that could inspire somebody, even if they never follow me, even if they never get to work with them. That caption might have helped them change their mindset or inspire them to do something. And that at the end of the day, I mean, that's what it's all about. So you get You have the amazing opportunity to be able to reach thousands and thousands of people with social media right now, you guys. You have the opportunity to create content to attract your person that you can serve and build a community of like minded people. I mean, right? So it's like, instead of I have to, I hate doing this, I suck at it, change the verbiage to I get to, I have the opportunity to. And I'm telling you what, it's 2024 and you guys don't know, like, if you're going to let this season of life pass you by, and that social media has been like at your fingertips and you were too busy not showing up and saying good enough, or I hate this, I don't feel like doing this, seems like hard work, instead of taking it more seriously and telling yourself, wow, this opportunity, what a time to be alive. I have the opportunity to build an income online in whatever passion that I have because of social media. It's like mind blowing, right? So change your verbiage when it comes to anything, like anything that you do, any copy that you write for emails or your marriage or your parenting or cooking or cleaning. Like I'm like, "Ugh, I don't want to fold laundry." But you know what I think about? I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to love my space when my bed's made, when my laundry is folded and my house is picked up. And I freaking love my house. I'm so grateful I have this beautiful space. I'm going to do this so it's all nice. And then I feel at peace and calmness here. So it's just the way you think about everything, totally your mindset when it comes to so many things in life. When we develop the mindset and adopt the mindset of how I do anything is how I do everything, things will change. Maybe not overnight, but things will change. And I want to challenge you throughout this week. I want you to go throughout your week and I want you to think about this every single morning. I write it down. I write my intentions and mantras and stuff down in my hyper focus journal. But if you use a notebook or you want to make post-it notes and you can put it on your water bottle by your bed and make a post-it and write that how I do anything is how I do everything. Put it on your mirror in your bathroom. This is what you should be doing, not with just this mantra, not with just this topic. Have little post-it notes, write it down in your journals or the hyper focus journal. If you use that, I know a lot of you do that listen to the show. Write it down every single day. And the thoughts and idea page, that's obviously, it's just a blank page. So it's like a journal page in the journal, but write that down every single day or whatever the mantra is that is your intention for the week, your intention for the month. Have post-its around like today is going to be a great day, whatever it is. I attract thousands new people to my social media by creating content because I get to create a reel today. Something like that. Okay. That's just obviously just an example. Another example is the people. Okay. So I was in network marketing. I'm still in network marketing, but at the beginning, I started to just get all these business builders. And so I would have other people in the company come to me and say, "How are you doing this?" And first of all, it was because I was adding so many people. So basically, I was helping women join my team, training them how to do exactly what I was doing and mentoring them. Again, finding out what makes them tick, finding out what their goals are, and figuring out actually the main thing was, and still what I do today, is helping them see the vision of what is possible. And I was very, very good at that. So I would get these people that joined my team and I had tons of business builders. So people would be like, "Where are you finding these people?" And I'd be like, it's not so much that I'm finding these people. It's that I would add a bunch of people and I would be mentoring a bunch of people. But what I was good at is really giving my attention and being able to see the unicorns in the bunch. And what made a unicorn to me, what made a business builder to me, that was the girl who stood out because it was mostly women, but there were some dudes actually. So I just said, I'll just say the person that stood out to me the most is the people that would watch my training video right the first day, open my email right away, watch the training video right away. I had created a course for any new person that joined my team to go through this course. And I think it was like they could watch it. It was self-paced, but it was like basically 30 videos. So it could take you the first 30 days to go through it, or it could take you, whatever. But the people that would finish that course in less than a week, I'm like, okay, let's do this. Like, I see you. You are somebody, is how I do anything, is how I do everything. Let's freaking go. Those people, I saw they were reliable. I saw they were dedicated. I saw that I could trust them. I saw they were adopting that same vision that I was showing them what was possible. I was telling them what was possible. I was sharing success stories. This is what's possible. And they were believing those things and holding on to those things and running with the things that I was telling them. That's why when people were like, why do you have so many business? That's why, is because I was able to see those people, like who you are now, right? And maybe you were already before, but definitely from this podcast forward, this is who we are as a community. This is us. We're those girls, we're those dudes that how we do anything is how we freaking do everything. So look out. And with that mindset, you're going to be able to do amazing things. You're going to be able to be a great parent. You're going to be able to be great at your business. Like I said, with my network marketing business, I could just see those people. That's who you are now. You're that person. You're that person, a business builder that would take off. So if you are doing something online to earn an income, affiliate marketing, digital marketing, network marketing, whatever it is that you're doing, if that's your mindset, you will take off, because you will go above and beyond, and you will treat everything that you do like it matters, because it does. Because it does. Every little thing matters. It either works for you or against you. And once we can come to the realization that that is the truth, so every workout, every meal, every decision that we make, it brings us, every choice and decision that we make on a daily basis will bring you to where you are down the road. So where we are currently is based off of past choices and decision that have been compounded over time that have led us to where we're at today. So for example, with fitness is always such a great example. If you are I'm going to skip this workout, not into it, or you're thinking to yourself, oh, no one's going to know I work out at home. I'm just going to skip the core part, or I'm not going to lift as heavy. And you're just not giving it your all. And those things don't matter, like in the present tense. Like, me skipping a workout today isn't going to make me gain 50 pounds. Me, half-assing my workout today is not going to determine if I'm at my goal of whatever your goal is. Like, I want to be more toned, more fit, stronger. Me going lighter in my weights isn't going to make a difference today, but me going lighter in my weights every single day, compounded over time, I'm not going to be happy where I am at my 90-day goal mark. Same thing with every time you go out to eat or every meal you have. One piece of cheesecake isn't going to kill you, but making those poor decisions when it comes to nutrition all the time, compounded over time, you're not going to be happy with your results in 90 days, 6 months, a year. Same thing with your online business. If you don't feel like making content, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. You don't have to do anything, but you also don't have to be successful. Right? So I want you guys to think about this in so many areas of your life. I'm actually going to go to my, I have in the hyper focus journal, I have something at the beginning. It's step 1. It's called the foundation evaluation, and it goes through multiple categories that are important to us, right? So when we're going through the goal setting series, we want to make sure that we are seeing where we rate ourselves in every category that's important. So when we go to set these goals, we're making sure that we're not setting goals that are leading us further away from, let's just say, our marriage. If we scored a 2 in relationships in our marriage, we're not going to want to create goals that are going to take us further away from that. We're going to want to create goals like weekly date night, reading a devotional, listening to marriage podcasts, and encouraging your spouse to do the same thing. Anyways, you get the point. So I'm going to read these categories to you, and I want you to start to think and like maybe kind of rate yourself. Like, where do I rate in that? But I just want you to start to think, are you good? Are you good in these categories? So then we can start to think how I do anything is how I do everything. And I'm going to start showing up as that person from here on out. So your physical health. So that's fitness, diet, lifestyle choices. Where do you rate yourself? Mental and emotional health. That's stress levels, your well-being, like how you cope. How do you rate? Career and personal professional development. So are you satisfied in what you do for a living? Are you doing well at your career and your goals and your progress? Financial well-being. How is your financial stability? How's your budgeting skills? How are you doing with saving? How are savings? How are you doing with investments? Relationships. This is relationships with your family, your friends, your romantic partner or husband and wife. Consider communication, support. How do you rate yourself? How are you doing? Are you good enough? Because a lot of times with our spouse, we're like, well, he doesn't care. She doesn't care. So we are like, dude, that's the person that we should be treating the best. And we're literally walking all over them, or we're not doing the things that help a marriage thrive, which is communicating, having an intimate relationship. And that goes like holding hands, spending time with each other, not having that not prioritizing that quality time one-on-one with our spouse. Like, how are you doing in relationships? How are you doing with parenting? Do you feel like you're doing well? I feel like don't let mom guilt, because sometimes I'm like, oh my, you're like the best mom ever, but you still have mom guilt. Like, oh my gosh, poor Lane. He had to write a spree to practice like he wanted to. Why do you care? That's me though. Okay. Personal growth. Where are you at with that? You're listening to this podcast. So say, I am a great Mindy. Thank you for asking. Spirituality and values. How are you with your faith? Are you reading your Bible every morning? Are you like, good enough? Are you listening to faith-based podcasts? I actually consider this basically faith-based. It's just like that's not the main topic. But every single episode we talk about God and faith. And so it's like personal growth plus faith. It's like the perfect mix. So how are you doing with that? Community and social involvement, leisure and hobbies. So like, how's your work-life balance? How do you spend your time when you have free time? Hobbies, interests, relaxation. Are you taking bubble baths? Is that your thing? You like to have a glass of wine, read a book, get your Kindle in there. We just moved into the house and I've never had a bathtub that like I'm not very tall. I'm 5'8". Is that very tall? I mean, it's not like I'm model size or look like a model, but like usually a bathtub, my legs are very long. So I'm like, this is the first bathtub where I fit very like conveniently, like I actually fit in a bathtub. And so I'm like, oh, I'm going to actually really want to take baths in here and whatever. So I got myself a little tray. Oops, almost knocked over my water. I got myself a tray. And because I have a Kindle now, ever since the house fire, I'm not buying all my favorite books again. And plus, you could lose all your library of books. I had thousands of books and with pages, you know, what's it called? I'm drawing a blank, like folded over and highlighted. And I would reread the same books over and over. I'm like obsessed with personal growth. As you know, that's why you're on this podcast. And all of that was gone. So now I'm just like a Kindle girly for life. Like this is a backup. If I lose this Kindle, I still have my books. I just have to sign it. Okay, so back to that. But I got a tray for my Kindle. It can hold a little glass of red wine. Yeah, I'm all about that. So that would be something that I should do more often because I haven't done that. It's baseball season. 3 kids in baseball, people. We are at the baseball field every single day. Okay, time management and productivity. How do you manage your time? How do you manage your to-do list? Do you feel like you're going through your days and you're just like, I have so much to do. And it's just like you're repeating your to-do list in your head and like you're a chicken with your head cut off and you're running all over the place. You feel so scattered. You're short with your kids sometimes because you're so overwhelmed. Okay. That would be a score of a 1. And guess what? Then you need the hyperfocus journal because that's how I feel when I don't do my daily routine. You need to develop a morning routine, and it'll just take your anxiety and like whatever, it'll just take it down a notch. And you'll be like, okay, my thoughts are out of my head into my journal. Now I am going to just work. And by the way, writing it down makes you more likely to do those things because it's like there's something that happens in your brain when you take pen to paper or pencil to paper and write goals down, write your to-do list down. Something happens in your brain and you're so much more likely to do it. And I don't know the statistics. Let's just say 1 million trillion % more likely to do it. Just throwing that percentage out there. Okay. Happiness and life satisfaction. Like, let's just think about this. This is a good place to end this podcast. How do you rate your life? Like, reflect on your overall happiness and life satisfaction. Where are we at? 1 through 10, 10 being the highest. What brings you joy? What brings you fulfillment? And a lot of these categories I just read are part of that go into that. But like, think about that. How do you rate your life right now and your satisfaction? That's a good question to end this on. So I'm going to leave it at that. I want you guys to come find me over on Instagram at obsessed or not interested or at Mindy Wonder. Find me on Instagram and I want you guys to send me DMs and I want you to tell me what you thought of this episode. And also I want you to just write me the mantra because we just want to type it and write it as much as we can. How I do anything is how I do everything. And from this point forward, people, that's us, this community on Obsessed or Not Interested. We are freaking obsessed with going above and beyond. When people think of us, they think, she's just always goes above and beyond. She's just always on time. She's just always that girl that like, she delivers on her promises. That's us now. And I mean, that list could go on and on and on, but that's who you are now. When you say you're going to do something, you're going to do it. When anyone sees you, you're not, if you're at a grocery store, you're putting the cart back in the rack. That's an example too. We're not leaving the carts out. I'm just, you won't ever find me doing that ever. So that's who we are now in this community. How we do anything is how we do everything. This was fun. I will talk to you guys on Friday. Thank you guys for tuning in. The best way to support me, if you like this episode and you dig the podcast, the best way you can support me and support this show so more women and men can listen to it and find the show is by, if you're on Spotify, there, all you have to do is hit the rate. So you just do stars. So do stars, rate the show on Spotify. And if you're on Apple Podcast, just go down to the bottom. I think it's down to the bottom and it says write a review. If you could write the review and rate the show, like literally, that means everything to me. That is how I can keep doing this. And this is how we share this podcast with more people and build our little community that we're building. That's so fun. And last thing, if you could share this with your besties, that would be great. Share it on your stories, share it on your Instagram, like put it wherever. Share the clips. If you go to Obsessed or Not Interested on TikTok or on Instagram and you see a clip that was like, oh, that was a good one from that episode, share it on your stories. That helps as well. You guys, I love you. That would mean the world to me. All right. I will talk to you on Friday for our mini episodes. Our Wait a Minute episodes are every Friday. And otherwise, I'll talk to you next Tuesday. Love you guys.